Hey everyone, MonadoMax here. You're probably looking at this title and you're like, this guy must be an idiot. So I guess it's time to explain myself. I played Cyberpunk 2077, however you want to call the game. A lot of people, I mean, a lot of people very much dislike the game. And it might surprise you to hear someone like me say, I really like the game. And I know I am coming across as a major idiot right now. But just allow me to explain myself as to why I like this game. So first of all, some of you might be noticing PlayStation 4 version. I played on the PlayStation 5. I know it's not an enhancement in any way. I know the PlayStation 5 version uses the PlayStation 4 Pro of the game. So, that in mind, I ran into legit no issues up until I made that tweet where I said, it's going to be thrown onto the screen. I was talking about, I'm in 10 hours in Cyberpunk. No issues, no crashes, no nothing. Guess what happens? As soon as I tweet that, I don't know what in the world has just decided to happen to me. Ever since I posted that tweet, that's when all my Cyberpunk issues happened. As I sent the tweet, the game crashed. It's like the world did not like me saying that. Don't know what was up with that. But let's start this off by saying I had low expectations for this game. I've not been excited for games anymore ever since Last of Us Part 2. I made a whole video on that, and I talked about how Last of Us Part 2 ruined games for me. Ever since then, I have never ever, I've decided I'm not being hyped for a game. No more. And a lot of people was hyping this game up before it got released. People was thinking this was going to be one of the best games of all time. And I want to go ahead and say, a lot of people hate on people for thinking that, but they do have a right to think that, coming from CD Projekt Red, who has had that mindset of making the best things possible. You could see that with some of the statements they did with Witcher 3, all of that. That's a whole nother story. So, going into this, very low expectations. I knew what people was thinking of the game, but I wanted to play it for myself, experience it for myself. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this game. The game is a futuristic game, and I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you. This game sucks as a futuristic game. This is a awful futuristic game. It's an open world futuristic game, but in terms of gameplay, that futuristic stuff's not used. They play with this whole, you can hack into things, hack into people's systems, even hack into people themselves, because all these things, they have cybernetic. It's a futuristic world type game. Throughout my entire story, I'm about 30 hours into the game. I completed the story, did some side stuff. They did not utilize that at all, and even when it was utilized, gameplay-wise, it's nothing special. It's awful. Hacking into systems should be difficult into this game, and hacking it's so easy. It's boring. The gameplay, in terms of new gameplay, this game is awful for new gameplay elements. And even with its current gameplay, it's nothing special. It's generic. That's the best way I could describe it. It is not a futuristic thing at all. That's just how I see it. Now, Beat 'em Ups, I watched his video on this, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this point up. If you're looking for a game that has some of the things that CD Projekt Red promised in terms of futuristic NPCs, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm going to go ahead and say this game is a better next-gen futuristic type game, even though it's set even though it's not even a futuristic game. The stuff that happens in this game, the NPCs are so smart, and like a better police system is in here too. That's another thing. Cyberpunk has an awful police system, but according to some articles, that was very, very last minute added into the game development, so I guess I'm not defending it at all, but it's not the greatest. I want to talk about why I love this game so much. Cyberpunk's story and characters kept me intrigued, and especially the multiple choices you were able to do throughout this game. I kept getting interested. I was interested in looking at the story of Johnny Silverhand. V's story, as spoiler alert, this is a major spoiler video, as V is slowly dying, becoming Johnny Silverhand, trying to save his life, and he meets all these people to, it's just, bro, storyline. I was very intrigued with this game, and I ended up with the Panham ending, which I believe, looking at the endings, that was probably the best ending in my opinion. But some of the endings in this game, dude, I'm mind blown. There's one where V kills himself. I'm just like, well, that took a turn. Like, this game has multiple endings that are not very original, but completely different from each ending, if that makes sense. There's one where V decides he's like the king of the world and he ends up in space. Like, bro, what? This game story is what kept me continuing the game, and that's why I love this game so much. Open world side, like I said before, if you're looking at this game as a futuristic game, and that's why you want to play it, because it's futuristic, this game isn't for you. The open world side of it is nothing special too. I've been through most of the open world, and it's just generic. There's nothing that speaks futuristic about it. Like, obviously it looks futuristic, but gameplay wise, the amount of things you can do in the open world side it's not futuristic. That's the best way I can describe it. And then the character customization, I think the character customization is actually pretty cool, but the game never utilizes the character customization up until, looking in the mirror and then looking at your ending with the cutscenes and all that. It's pretty useless, if I'm being honest. And I know this game, it had so many issues. I'm not going to press this game so much, because the point of this video is to explain why I like this game so much. But the customization, it was really good if it was used. That's the best way I can describe customization. Now, one of the narratives that I liked about this game is that it pushed Night City changes everybody. So I want to talk about that a little bit. You can see that V leaves Night City when you start the game up, and then he ends up back in Night City, and these characters around him, like Jackie for example, he stays in Night City, and what ends up happening to him? He dies in Night City. The game is pushing this narrative that Night City kills you in the end. It changes everybody, and you can see as far as V tries to escape it, he always ends up back in Night City. That's why I like the Panham ending so much, is because he leaves Night City, and it's like a cliffhanger. Is he gonna live? Is he actually gonna go back to Night City? Because, we've seen him leave Night City multiple times. And you can see all these characters around him, like Johnny Silverhand changed him, Night City. Like, all these characters changed Night City. And then there's that one other girl character, I can't think of her name. It's the other girl you can choose to get with the ending other than Panham, and you can see that she's ready to leave Night City. She wants to be gone, and she tries so hard, but then she ends up back in Night City. Judy, that's her name, Judy. Especially if you look at the endings, especially when V kills himself in the game, you get put into the credits and you get Judy's reaction. I loved it. I love everything about this game in terms of the story, characters. This game has some really good story points, good narrative. It has Keanu Reeves, which Keanu Reeves smashed it as Johnny Silverhand, as he smashes pretty much all his roles. And I've seen some people hate on Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves. on this role. I thought it was one of his best roles. I mean, it's the most Keanu you get, and I mean, he smashed the performance. I don't see what was wrong with it. All the voice actors, all of that, they did their job. They did incredible. I loved everything about it. And just the variety of other options you can do in terms of choices of what to say. You have dialogue options, which sometimes you didn't have dialogue options, but sometimes you did. And some of those options are, at least to me, obviously I didn't get to see all these options. They look like they're pretty unique. And I was talking with Proxidus. You guys may not know him. I know some of Proxidus fans over here watch the channel. I was talking to Proxidus because I needed help with the game, because I know there was a bad ending. I did not want to get the bad ending. And as we were talking about it, he was telling me that Goro, who I thought there was no way to save, you can actually save Goro. I'm like, what? Finding that out really shocked me for this game, because they don't tell you, they don't give you an objective or anything when that whole scene plays out that you can save Goro. And when I found that out, I was actually really sad. I was pretty sad because Goro was the homie. He did so much for us. Granted, he needed us, but bro, Goro's the homie. I just left him behind like that. I've not seen how you could save him. I've just been told, and I'm looked into the research, you can save him. I'm just like, bro. And that's, again, it pushes what I'm talking about in this video. The options for the story in this is awesome. Just absolutely awesome. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what these free DLC stories are going to be. I don't know about you, but I loved playing this game. I know this is probably one of the worst rated games of all time. But I don't know how to describe how I love this game. Now, I bring up these two games again. Obviously, I mentioned before, high expectations for this. Did not deliver at all. Ended up being for me, one of the worst games I've played of all time. Very, very low expectations for this. That's how I have all my games now ever since Last of Us 2. Very low expectations. Very low expectations for this. And especially the controversy behind it when it came out. I already had all that in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy it, but I'll play it anyways. I mean, I need to play it so I can make my mind up on it. Because, yeah, bro, it was awesome. I enjoyed every minute of it. Yes, there was crashes. And for the first 10 hours of the game, I experienced no crashes or glitches. And the only glitch I actually experienced in the game that wasn't a crash was, it happened twice when my enemies became my allies randomly. I was like, huh. Like, you know, low-key I was happy about it because I was legit about to die in the game. And then all of a sudden, they become my friends. I was like, okay. It's kind of random, and I get that shouldn't have happened. Totally understand that part. But overall, Cyberpunk 2077, it has issues. I am here to tell you it does have issues. Gameplay wise, it is nothing special. It's the same generic shooters out there. If you're looking at it from a futuristic point, again, I've said it before, the futuristic side of Cyberpunk 2077 is awful. If you're looking for some of the things that was promised, I go back to Red Dead Redemption 2. Beat 'em Up said the exact same thing. Beat 'em Up's had a really good video, except he didn't really like the game. But this game has some of the futuristic gameplay NPCs that were promised into Cyberpunk 2077. And it has a better police system too, if that's something that you care about. This game is not worth $60. I paid $60 for it. I mean, I don't regret it. But if you are wanting to get this game, I realize this game is not going to be for everyone, and not everyone's going to have the same reaction that I had throughout the game and saying, I really enjoyed the game. The glitches, blah. Like, because I was very lucky. I'm going to go ahead and say I was very, very lucky to not have the amount of crashes and glitches that many people experience throughout this game. I counted how many times I got crashed into the game, and it was 8 times. And there was 2 glitches, which was the enemies turning into allies. And wait, and there was that other glitch, which we're going to go ahead and play right now. So, I was talking about how I've had no issues with Cyberpunk. And ever since I posted that tweet, I've had 8 crashes on the PlayStation 5. Now, the game has put me at a checkpoint where every time, you're going to see, it's loading now. Every time it fully loads in, I die instantly. It set me up a checkpoint right at a bomb. So every time, I don't know what to do. This is the 4th time I'm stuck here because the checkpoint is, you're about to see, it's a bomb. I don't know what to do. And yeah, that was funny. Like, I had to go back an hour back into the game and experience that. That was kind of annoying. That wasn't kind of annoying. That was seriously annoying. But the fact that the game saved or did an autosave right when I was dying, that was hilarious. Bro, I'm thinking about it. I didn't watch the tweet video, but I know it's being played, and that was a funny thing at the time, and then having to go back and do all that was pretty annoying. With all of that being said in mind, everything, all cards on the table, I believe this game should be at least, it goes on sale for $30. If it went to $30, take it. I do feel though this game isn't gonna sell well, and like it's already sold over 14 million copies. I get that. But as of now, I believe we're going to see these sales numbers drop with Cyberpunk, and it's not going to sell as many copies. And you'll see this game drop quick. I know Best Buy already threw it on sale for $30 recently. It's back up to $60. But I do believe it's going to probably drop back down to $30, $20 very soon, because this game probably has a lot of copies made. I don't know. With all the cards on the table, here's my score of the game. Oh man, this is where the dislikes are probably going to come in. I'm going to give Cyberpunk an 8 out of 10. The reason why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 is the story and characters were very, very interesting. I enjoyed every character's story. Panham's story was interesting. Judy's story was interesting. V's story is interesting. Jackie, all these characters, Misty, all these characters' stories, like, just, I don't know how to explain it, but it kept me interested. It kept me intrigued. And every time I played the game, I'm like, I don't want to put the controller down, but I need to put the controller down, get some sleep, work on videos. That in mind, 8 out of 10. The only reason why it's not higher is I can't give it any higher than that. Because I'm talking about the gameplay, it's nothing special, man. It is nothing special. Voice acting, the story, the characters, the narrative, those are the 4 things pushing this game to me giving it as high as a score as I am. I would like to know how everyone is feeling about this video. If you sat through this video, say Cyber Monado, that's MonadoMax, you know, say Cyber Monado, because I got a feeling this is going to be a pretty disliked video, and I got a feeling the people that dislike the video aren't going to stay for the whole video. So if you said Cyber Monado, that will tell me that you stayed for the whole video and you heard everything I had to say. I would like to know your opinions on the game. And look, I want to go ahead and say all on the record. I think I've already said it, but in case I didn't, I completely understand why people hate this game. They had high expectations, and I'm not faulting that. Some people had some really high expectations, but again, I'm not going to fault that because it's from CD Projekt Red. If you looked into the amount of statements they've said about Cyberpunk, there is some reason to why they had high expectation. They were talking about they would not release Cyberpunk till it was meet their expectations and a great game. I get it. But I want to know what you guys think on the game, and then tell me what you think of my opinion on the game. Is that good with you guys? Alright, well, we're reaching the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And, again, I played on the PlayStation 5, and I know the console versions are the ones that are the most glitchy, so that might come to a surprise for you. But make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out my Twitter, and check out the Discord server. I messed up big time, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, I'm scared to be working on this video, because when this is uploaded, man, the outcome is going to be either really good or really, really bad. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.